The meeting will please come to order. Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, September the 7th. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. On behalf of all my colleagues, we just want to thank you for joining us, those who are in council chambers, and also those who have joined us virtually. Just as a public note for public comment, there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat for any City of Wilmington resident who resides in one of our councilmanic districts or any taxpayer who would like to speak. Public comment will take place after non-legislative business. At this time, we will have our opening prayer by Akira Granado.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
Amen. Amen. This time, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag,
one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember Darby, Councilmember Darby, Councilmember Oliver, Councilmember Oliver, Councilmember Harley, Councilmember Fields,
Present.
Councilmember McCoy,
here,
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilmember Cabrera,
present,
Councilman Mills,
Present.
Councilman Spadola, Councilman Spadola, Councilmember Bracy,
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
Hello. I'm here, Mr. President. I'm sorry.
Please mark Councilmember Oliver present.
So noted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's 10 present and 3 absent.
And also for the record, Councilmember Harley did ask to be excused. This time we have the reading of the minutes from the previous meeting.
August 31st, 2023, City Council met a regular session with remote participation in the above date at 6:30 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding. The opening prayer was done by
Mr. President, I move the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question,
Aye.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll have our committee reports.
September 5th, 2023, President, members of City Council, the City of Wilmington. Ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation to whom was referred ordinance number 23030 entitled, an ordinance constituting amendment number 1 to the fiscal year 2024 operating budget, being an ordinance to amend substitute number 1 to ordinance number 23012. Have given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Harley.
Mr. President, I'm,
At this time, I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
second,
It's been properly moved and second that the report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
September 5th, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location remote participation to whom was referred ordinance number 23031 entitled, an ordinance to amend chapter 40 of the City Code regarding bereavement leave. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Bracy, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Harley.
At this time, I move the committee report to be received, recorded, and filed.
second,
It's been properly moved and second that that report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll have our city treasurer's report.
September 7th, 2023. Total investment, $516,667,563.38. Total cash on hand, $14,126,263.43. Grand total, $530,793,826.81, submitted by Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
Mr. President, I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. I'll accept the motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, we will have our recognition resolutions. Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President, I have resolution to present.
All right, thank you. As a friendly reminder, as you're called to come forward, please watch your step when you come up to the podium. Also, if you're a part of a group, we ask that you please consider using one speaker from the group who will have up to 2 minutes to convey your message. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. Could the members of the Wilmington Police Department or the Criminal Investigation Division, definitely the cold case units, detectives? We have Investigator Rizzo and Detective Jones. So read the resolution, then you guys can speak. Sponsors, Councilman Mills. Whereas it's the sense of the City Council to acknowledge special events and individuals that merit recognition, Councilmember Mills would like to commend the Wilmington Police Department cold case investigator Stephen Rizzo and Detective Devin Jones for the success they have achieved and noteworthy merits, special distinction. Whereas Wilmington has ranked 5th in the nation in violent crimes and 11th in homicides. Of these homicides, at least 181 murders remain unsolved, some dating back to 1991. The cold case unit particularly handles cases that have remained unsolved after a year and after all leads have been exhausted by the primary investigator. The Wilmington Cold Case Unit, which is part of the Wilmington Criminal Investigation Division, has the monumental task of pursuing these unsolved cases. This year alone, the Cold Case Unit has made arrests in connection with 5 cold case murders for incidents, at least one dating back to 2015. The Cold Case Unit is currently working closely with prosecutors on 12 unsolved cases. Highlights are issued monthly
Now,
on
I got
unsolved.
this one thing that I just came out here to get my heels, but I got
Councilmember
this
Oliver.
one thing in the city council and I'm done.
WITN, can you please mute Councilmember Oliver's microphone?
The Cold Case Unit is currently working closely with prosecutors on 12 unsolved cases. Highlights are issued monthly on unresolved murders to draw attention in hopes of gaining access from the public. The Cold Case Unit also keeps in touch with family members and loved ones of the victims to reassure them that they are committed to bringing criminals to justice. Therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that the City Council is pleased to recognize the Wilmington Police Department Cold Case Unit Investigator Stephen Rizzo and Detective Jones for the important work they do every day to bring law and order to families of victims. Job well done. Yes, thank you. And I also, I invited some of the family members that I knew, and personally, I have 2 cousins, if you guys could stand, or if you want to say something as well. But our cousin Richard was killed in 2018, their brother, and he was killed in his home in front of his 7-year-old daughter. And the murder went unresolved for years until these 2 gentlemen behind me did the excellent work and brought this young man to justice and took a killer off our streets. So I just wanted to commend them and say thank you, and let the officers speak, and then if the family members want to share anything.
Good evening. First, I just want to say thank you to Investigator Rizzo, my partner. Obviously, him and I do what we do, but I'm able to do a lot what I do because he takes a lot off of me. Chief Campos, the command staff for the CID, we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to work together. and put these cases together. To the families, again, sorry for your loss. Obviously, it's not going to bring your loved one back, but we hope this will have some type of closure for them. Anything else you want to say?
Totally unexpected. I'm not much of a public speaker, but I just echo everything Detective Jones just said. He's an amazing, amazing partner. Sometimes I feel like I have to handcuff him to a chair and tell him to slow down a little bit. I would like to thank Sergeant Tom Curley for giving me this opportunity and for pairing me up with Detective Jones, and of course Chief Campos too for allowing us to continue to work together and continue to try and fight for the families of these and the victims. And again to the family members, God bless. My sincerest condolences.
I want to thank y'all for helping my family and my niece and nephews
Bring the mic
get
down.
closure. I would like to thank you for letting my niece get closure. I thank you so much, both of y'all, and I appreciate y'all.
Councilmember Oliver, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Mr. President. And I'd like to thank Councilman Mills for giving recognition that's overdue to them two gentlemen. They were on the show today, and we just discussed the cold cases. And did give the chief kudos for just reopening all these cold cases. The women who came up there, chief is meeting with them the end of the month. They're looking forward to it. A lot of them have some cold cases. So I just appreciate them taking the initiative to engage with the community and, stand up and give some of these families hope. So kudos to all of them, congratulations, but it's unfortunate. But I see the billboards and everybody's talking about the cold cases. So it's something that was overdue. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. And Councilmember Cabrera, may come forward.
I'm going to be presenting this resolution on behalf of Councilmember Darby, who is trying to get here. And I would like at this time to bring forth the Innocence Project, the members of the Innocence Project, if you could come forward. Formerly Project Innocence. I had the pleasure to speak to some of the members who got here early, and just want to say thank you for the work that you do. It is so crucial. As we know, America loves to lock everybody up, and there are many innocent people behind bars and others who do deserve to be there. So your work is outstanding. This is sponsored by Councilmember Shanae Darby. Whereas it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and deserving of recognition and acknowledgement, Innocence Project Delaware is one such organization. Whereas Innocence Project Delaware is part of a national organization that upholds the mission to free the innocent, prevent wrongful convictions, and create fair, compassionate, and equitable systems of justice for everyone. Since its founding in 1992 at the Benjamin N. Cardozo School of Law in New York City, the organization has brought to here its resources, vast network of legal and technical experts to advocate for individuals who have been wrongly convicted of crimes. And whereas since 2018, Innocence Project Delaware has provided those wrongful convicted Delawareans with pro bono legal resources and offers services to help them begin the process of reclaiming their lives once freed. In partnership with Weiner University Law School, Innocence Project Delaware's team of law students, attorneys, and scholars are currently examining convictions as far back as 1979. Whereas 85% of cases under consideration by Innocence Project Delaware involve Wilmingtonians who lack resources for a meaningful legal defense, the organization also diligently brings light to the urgent need for criminal justice reforms and to provide greater access to justice for those in need. Whereas their support was essential to helping individuals like Mr. Mark Purnell, who was denied release after his conviction was overturned. Mr. Elmer Daniels, who was in prison for 39 years based on unsubstantiated testimony from a forensics investigator. And Mr. Jermaine Marlowe Wright, with the longest serving death row inmate in the state, to prevail in court. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this council is pleased to recognize Innocence Project Delaware for its critical role in restoring communities impacted by wrongful convictions. Job well done.
Good evening. I'm Claudia Troop. I'm the Executive Director of Innocence Project Delaware, and I just want to thank the Council so much for this recognition. It's so meaningful to us. Since 1989, over 3,500 people have been exonerated for crimes they didn't commit, and that amounts to over 29,000 lost years of people who have been ripped from their home and families. We know that this tragedy impacts Delaware. We've had several cases. Currently, we're working through 25 active cases, and we're working to hire a director of community outreach who can go into communities and let people know that we're here to help them and offer free legal services for those who don't have anywhere else to turn. Our clients have often been in prison for years. They've been cut off from their communities and lost their families, and they really are in need of our service. I can't tell you how much we appreciate the support of the City Council, how much this means to us, not only your words, but you're also allocating discretionary funds to us this summer to help us move the organization forward. And I'd also like to thank all of my wonderful volunteers who are here today. These volunteers give their time and effort with all their heart and soul because they believe in our mission. Without pay, they devote hours to our work, and I'm just so glad that we can all be here tonight receiving this honor. So thank you very much.
Councilmember Johnson.
I want to thank the legal team for being here. I'm a proud Widener Law graduate as well, and I'm part of the family, and I know we work in the same circle in the civil rights arena, and it's very important that this work gets done because I think it's often overlooked as public safety equals, criminal justice reform. We need to make sure that fairness happens. Sure, we want crime stopped, but we also have to make sure constitutional rights are upheld. So thank you. And however we can get more funds over to you, I know you have some fundraisers coming up as well. We'll certainly spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to also recognize Councilmember Darby. And do you have any comments, Councilmember Darby?
Yes, I do. I just want to say thank you guys for the work that you're doing in the community. You're impacting the lives of Wilmington residents who have been incarcerated, who are innocent, wrongfully convicted, and the work that you're doing is amazing. And I'm just so happy to have learned of your organization, heard of the work that you're doing, and for you guys to be recognized for it tonight, and to continue. And I hope that the help that City Council is able to give helps you to continue the work that you're doing to impact the lives of Wilmingtonians, Delawareans. So thank you guys for the work that you're doing.
All right, thank you. Also like to announce a few other resolutions of recognition. Again, from Councilmember Darby, a birthday resolution for Jesse Thomas, who turned 90. From Councilmember Oliver, recognizing the 75th anniversary of the desegregation of the military. And also from Councilmember Oliver, 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. And for sympathy resolutions, from Councilmember Cabrera, sympathy resolution for Susan Brown. From Councilmember Oliver, a sympathy resolution for Helen V. Williams. And from Councilmember Spadola, a sympathy resolution for Stephen Silicato. At this time, we will move to public comment. Again, as a friendly reminder, There is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat for anyone who would like to speak, any Wilmington resident who would like to speak, and you must reside in one of our 8 councilmanic districts or a taxpayer, or be a taxpayer. Your time limit is 3 minutes. I will give you a friendly reminder when you have around 45 seconds left. Please keep your comments to general matters pertaining to the City of Wilmington business. And please do not address any council members directly, but please direct all of your comments directly to me. And first we have, in council chambers, we have Susan Casado. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself when you get to the microphone, and please be careful when you step up to the podium. If you can see the monitor to your lower right-hand side, that's your time frame right there. Thank you.
Good afternoon or good evening. I'm Susanna Casado, and I work in Public Works in the Engineering Division. I just wanted to bring to your attention the disparities between our pay. With being a non-union employee anymore, I left my union supervisor job to a non-union supervisor job with added duties. Once I received my first paycheck, I realized I was making less than before. It was supposed to be a promotion. Now the union employees I supervise make substantially more than I do, with less experience, knowledge, and job duties that I have. I respectfully ask council to approve the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Eve Davis.
Mr. President, Council, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Eve Davis. I am the Code Enforcement Supervisor for the City of Wilmington. I'm speaking today because of the topic of compensation. I am a non-union employee, and I've been with the city for around 20 years as a code enforcement inspector. I recently applied for the position of supervisor and received it, and wanting to grow in the city and wanting to be talent that remains here. Now my my union brothers and sisters have just had, I guess, their contract ratified, and a lot of them with overtime will be making more than I do. So I just want to say that I would appreciate your consideration in lifting the non-union pay scales, management pay scales, so that one, it will help with the cost of living. 2, there'll be a type of separation between management and some of the support staff. I won't feel as though they're making more than me. And also for validation for my hours put in. I work probably sometimes 10 hours a day. I'm very dedicated to the city. I love my job here. I love my people here and friends, and there are so many dedicated, hardworking people in the city, and I work with them every day. So I'm just asking for council's consideration on that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Deacon Earl Tate.
Greetings. My name is Deacon Earl E. Tate II, and I'm just here to say I hope y'all had a nice summer, and now it's time to settle back and to get with it on making this winter a nice and safe winter, because we don't want to see no early kids going to the grave before their time. We want to see them live to be as old as some of us, and that's how come I say, hey, we got to slow down the driving, and pay attention to the kids as well as the adults that are crossing the streets, because some of them may be may be related to you in some way, shape, or form. So let us slow down and let us take it easy for them all. And I like to say to you this little poem that I wrote. It's titled Going Home. As you blow out the candle, as you turn out the light and settle down for it to go to sleep, someone's soul has gone home to a land of rest and relaxation, to a land of joy and where peace will forever be, and where heartaches and pain will cease from being. So weep no more tears, have no more sorrow in your heart for your loved ones. Look up towards heaven and open your heart's door, and you will be able to hear them say, I'm home with the Lord at last, in a land where there's always hello, and no more goodbye, no more goodbye.
Thank you. Next, we have Yvonne Brown. Again, just as a friendly reminder, please watch your step as you're coming to the podium, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Mr.
evening.
President and members of the city council and the constituents and all the people that showed up tonight. My name is Yvonne Brown. I'm from the 3rd District. I live in the 1400 block of West 2nd Street in Wilmington. I heard Mr. Earl talk about traffic and how fast traffic goes. I sit in my window sometimes and watch the traffic traveling westbound on 2nd Street. 60 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour school zone or speed zone. It is a lot of children up there, a lot of seniors. I mean, it's a heavily populated area. And I think it's terrible that they don't have more deterrents for speeders coming up 2nd Street. I think a good start would be to change the sequence of the lights coming up 2nd Street, traveling west on 2nd Street. They catch all the lights. They don't catch a break. I mean, everybody's trying to catch the light to stop at Lincoln or Union Street. It stops right there. Vacant housing is another thing where they come and board up the houses and people go in there and do whatever they do. And I mean, that's across the street from me. I've called the city police a couple times. By the time they get there, the people have done what they're doing and they're going. I mean, I would hate to be hardened and say if I see them go in there and don't come out and not be a concerned citizen and do nothing, I wouldn't do that. I'm not made like that. But, I mean, more... communication with our officials would be very welcome in our neighborhood. And I am from the 3rd District. I might have said that already. But in any event, I'm glad that a lot of people showed up, and I'm a Wilmington resident, born and raised here. I just turned 69 on Tuesday. Yes. And I'm staying right here. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Wilmingtonian until till y'all come and get me. But I'll let you know when to come and get me, Trippy. Okay? All right, you keep riding past. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Thank you.
All right, that's the deal.
Have a wonderful evening and be safe.
All right, you too. Thank you for joining us. Next, we have Marie.
President Congo.
Yes, Councilmember Oliver.
That's all right. President Congo.
Yes, Councilmember Oliver.
Now, I just wanted to let her know she don't live in the 3rd district. That would be, she live on 3rd, and that's Michelle's district.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, sorry, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Please watch your step. Ms. Marie, please introduce yourself.
Happy to be with you, everybody. My name is Marie T. Boiron. That's a French name. I'm from Haiti.
Bonsoir.
But I'm a citizen. I live in 906 London Street since a year ago. I was living in New York before for 20 over years. But look like my neighbor is giving me so many problems. I don't know why. Because she came to me to ask me if I'm on Section 8, like her. I said, no. I bought the house. I'm from the 3rd district. And she said, okay. But she didn't believe me. So all they were doing is her children and her, because I don't see no father figure in the house. Only a lot of kids, trouble kids, because some of them have ankle bracelet in their feet. I don't think they go to school. So they dirty my front door all the time. Every day I gotta clean. Today when I clean, I get hurt in my right eyes because the dirt came to my eyes. I had to go to the eye doctor. But that's okay. But everybody is tired of them. They always say, oh, we're leaving, but they're not leaving. I don't know who to go to because the police come so often, but they come to my house to ask me questions about my camera. And I wasn't home, I was at work. My brother will live with me temporarily. He don't know what to say. But I explained to him the first time when they came on Tuesday the 6th, I said, you gotta tell them my camera is not functional. So I don't know what they were looking for to see in my camera, because I know in the news they're looking for a guy escaping from prison. He might be in Delaware. I don't know. But I said that to my brother. They came back again on Wednesday the 7th. I was still at work. But they play so much with my monitor, it don't stay anymore at the wall. I had to put it someplace else. So I said, don't let nobody, I don't care if it's the police, don't let nobody come to my house like that. I'm not there, that's my house. But I'm trying to protect my house and myself and himself too, because he's 83 years old. So I just ask if there is any help, if there is a way they can investigate how dirty those people, dirty the street. Not only my front door, behind my car, around my car. I don't know what to do anymore. So my friend Yvonne told me I can have a sticker from the police to put on my front door to say don't sit in my step. But I try to compromise with them. I said you can sit on my step as long as you don't dirty it. Don't dirty it. Just if you dirty it by mistake, clean it. Nothing happened. It's all on
20
me.
seconds.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you so much. We have your address, so we will follow up with you.
Okay.
and we have your phone number. Thank you. Is there anyone else in council chambers that did not have a chance to sign up for public comment that would like to give comments? If not, we are going to go to our virtual audience. First, we have Allison Quimby. Allison Quimby. WITN is Allison Quimby still with us? Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Allison Quimby.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Allison Quimby. I oversee all of the environmental programs for the city of Wilmington. I have worked here for 15 years, and surprisingly, I still love it. Every morning, I wake up happy and excited to make a difference in our beautiful city. My entire family has lived here, and I truly love Wilmington. I'm here to encourage City Council to pass this amendment. All non-union employees deserve to be compensated fairly, or the city will continue to lose more staff. I myself have been that pays twice as much for half the responsibility. Even though it would be more money, I prefer to stay here with the city and to continue to make Wilmington a lovely place to live. Please make the right choice and vote yes. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your dedication. Devon Marquis Hall. Devon Marquis Hall. And WITN is Mr. Hall with us? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll come back to him. Preston Foster. Preston Foster.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Preston Foster.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing? My name is Preston Foster. I'm the Public Works Street Cleaning Manager for the City of Wilmington. I've worked for the city for 20 years, and I encourage City Council to vote yes to the amendment for the non-union employees, because our counterparts that we supervise, 1102 and 320, all got upgrades, and some of them, if we don't get upgraded, will be making just as much as us without the responsibility. I enjoy my job, and I've been called upon many times by many of the people in that room, and I'm more than happy to respond, and I just encourage you to vote yes to compensate our non-union managers. Thank you.
And thank you. Joanne L. Our next speaker is Joanne L.
Hello?
Yes, thank you for joining us. We can hear you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is Joanne Liao. I'm city engineer working for Public Works. I've witnessed with my own eyes how difficult it was to recruit and retain employees in a non-union position. So I really encourage council to vote yes for the salary increase. I've had to operate without my GS position for over a year now, and we're paying way more to have contractors do the same job than having our own employee do it. And for anyone who has any doubt, we are mothers, fathers, daughters, sons. We live in this world as well, and everybody feels the pinch. After COVID, food has increased at least 30%. So I think it's only fair to catch up at least with inflation, and also to be competitive with our neighboring cities, municipalities, and other entities who are also trying to attract technical, talented people. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, thank you. And we're going to circle back to Devon Marquis Hall. Any luck with connecting Mr. Hall, WITN? And while we're waiting for Mr. Hall to unmute, just on behalf of all of us from City Council, we just want to thank everyone who joined us this evening virtually and in council chambers and who gave public comment. And special thanks to all of our City of Wilmington workers. And thank you for your hard work and dedication. No luck, WITN?
Good evening, guys. This is Devon Marquis Hall, D. Marquis Hall, 3rd District. I actually have public comment related to the 4th District today. I am grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the Sierra Club. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
So the Delaware Sierra Club made me aware that Naramco, which is a pharmaceutical company in the 4th District on Swede Landing, the 7th Peninsula area, they make pharmaceuticals. They make opioids like oxycodone, Percocet, controlled substances. And they emit pollution, you know, and they're pretty close to the port where there's a lot of exhaust fumes. They're close to the concrete manufacturer. Naramco has been there for decades. A lot of our community doesn't know about them, doesn't know that they're offering jobs as well, and that they're seeking expansion. I don't know exactly what they are planning to do with the expanded area, but the problem was that they applied to DNRAC for this permit to expand their operations, and while this wasn't planned for the community, they didn't know, there was no public hearing scheduled. And if this happened in the 4th District, or if this happened in the other districts like the 8th District or the 7th District, there probably would have been a public hearing, but there was no public hearing that was planned. So I requested one for the community, and hopefully DNRAC approves this hearing over the phone with Amy from DNRAC. She stated that there will be a public hearing, that they're going to give us a date, hopefully by the beginning of next week. But this is a situation that requires everyone's attention, because a lot of times in poor Black and brown communities, folks aren't given the benefit of the doubt, aren't being brought to the table, aren't allowed to voice any sort of concern. And that's not right, because people are living in this area, and we wonder why young people have asthma, why the families have to live in these conditions. And I just know that this shouldn't be happening without public knowledge. So that's why I'm talking about it tonight. And if anyone has any questions for me, my email that you can reach me at is weareallremarkable@fineblackart.com. And my phone number is 302-354-1700. Once again, this is Devon Marquis Hall, D. Marquis Hall, My email is weareallremarkable@findblackart.com, and my phone number is 302-354-1700. Thank you and God bless.
All right, thank you. At this time, we are going to move to legislative business. We're going to go just a bit out of order. First, I'm going to call on Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present for, call for third and final reading.
Ordinance 23030, Revision 1, Agenda 0340, an ordinance constituting Amendment Number 1 to the fiscal year 2024 operating budget, being an ordinance to amend Substitute Number 1 to Ordinance Number 23012.
Mr. President, I move that be known as an enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea or nay vote on the question.
This is the ordinance that you've had heard robust public comment both in chambers and on Zoom about the changes the city is making regarding our compensation. And just to set the record straight, this has been a year in the making, this compensation study. And this is something we take very seriously on council. And starting a year ago, working with council president, we told the administration, you know, we have a hiring crisis. We need to support our workers. And part of this was doing a compensation study, using the Johnson Company to go and find just look at pay scales of not just governments around our area, but also private employers. And our best resource is our people, both our city workers and our residents. And for far too long, we didn't invest. And now is a time, because we've been so fiscally responsible and investing in the right things in Wilmington, we have the funds that we can do this. So the unions got their due. Police got their due. Fire got their due, got their negotiated contracts. 320, Local 320, they got their needed salary increase. Local 1102, they got their salary increase. And all these are in the tunes of millions of dollars. Now it's a turn to take care of the rest of our city employees who, in this ordinance, would specifically cover 231 employees who are non-union managerial employees. And they are, again, the backbone of helping the city run. A lot of these positions are technical, so we're competing against, again, healthcare industry, banking, finance, those top professionals, the city auditors, inspectors, you know, positions that take certifications and education experience to, and it's been hard. And you can ask any department head in the city about maintaining the top talent. So, to say the least, city councils, we're stepping up along with the administration and again, giving back. So just to go through the numbers, there is a fiscal note on this. I know that was one concern before. So this will cost to the tune of about $748,000. So it's not millions of dollars as some had said, or a lot more or less. No, it's about $748,000, as it represents about only 231 out of the over 1,200 city employees. So those are just the numbers in terms of fiscal impact, but they are covered by our budgetary surplus, again, that we had negotiated quite swiftly over the past few years using fiscal restraint, that we have these surplus funds that we can move over and invest in our workers. So this is truly a win-win. We're not taking this from any other pot or department, but again, we were, because we were smart and planned ahead, we are now in a place to invest in our workers. So there were some naysayers out there questioning what was going on, but just to reiterate, there's no salary decrease. So if anyone extrapolated numbers, they're incorrect. There's only a salary increase. I think the average will, be in a $3,500 or more dollar range per employee. A lot of it's based on performance reviews. So when you're in non-union, a lot of it is just not automatic between the steps. So in terms of the band and the salary range, it's based on what the department head recommends. So that's why it's kind of, it could look like, well, somebody can make it less, but they actually won't. Managers will look at the expanded bands and end up paying them more. So to just, put a cap on it again, I'm here to take any questions, but this is, again, a long time coming. There is a fiscal note attached, and again, we look forward to having the support of all council. This is one where there should not be one no vote. And I've rarely said this through the years, but if there's a no vote, I don't understand it, and that means you don't support our workers. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to be added as a co-sponsor for the ordinance. I do agree that this has been a long time coming, and I would like to make certain that we are retaining all of the great experience that we already have. That's been one of the things that we have spoken about for the past few months as we were talking about recruitment, and we were starting to see people leave, and I'm like, we need to make certain that we retain who we have. We have some great workers here, and I've worked with quite a few. Some of them actually talked about how they are still hearing from me. So I just want to make certain that we're doing right by the people who we work with. We are a team.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes, I think this is great, and we're trying to align ourselves so we can be competitive with other municipalities right here in Delaware and even in the tri-state area. We know that residency is still an issue that needs to be further discussed so we can find a way to draw and to keep our employees here. And this is a start, which is great. Now, the concerns that have been brought before some of the council members, I know they've been brought up before me, is that in alignment, the unions got their pay increases, awesome, but now we're looking at the non-union workers, which this addresses. However, now it's really up to HR where the fairness is going to be, because what's happening is that some of the very supervisors that are going to be supervising some of those union workers, and as you heard here tonight, some of these folks left the union to go into a supervisor position, which is supposed to be an upgrade, but their salaries are now going to be less than the salaries of the people that they're supervising. So to be in total alignment, the administration, the department heads, HR, because my understanding is the department heads have no authority on deciding what that pay rate is going to be for those employees. It all comes out of HR. Is to now that we, when we pass this tonight, which I agree there should not be one no vote, is how do we align this so that the supervisors and the non-union employees who are supervising union employees, their salaries align so that now the supervisors aren't making less than the actual employees. So if you have not heard from some of these employees, I'm happy to refer them to you so we can really hash out the details and see how we can make this happen so that it's fair across the board. But definitely, this was a long time coming. A lot of work went into this, and I appreciate the administration trying to align Wilmington and our employees with the rest of the tri-state area and just here in Delaware. It just seems that everybody in Wilmington is underpaid, including our public safety officials. We do have budgetary concerns to look at as we move into the projected budget in the next few years, but we do have to make it fair, and we do want our employees to see that we do appreciate them, and the one way to do that is in their paychecks. So just something that I would like my council members to consider moving forward, how we can make it fair across the board. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Spadola. Seeing no other hands raised, I also would like to be added as a co-sponsor. Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President, could I like to be added as a sponsor as well and say to the Council President and Finance Chair Johnson that excellent work and it's much needed, and thank you guys for pushing the envelope on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor as well, and I agree with council, all of the sentiments of council, and specifically what Councilwoman Cabrera was mentioning about making sure that now that this goes back to the Department of HR, that they really take time to look at all of the salaries so that we're making sure that there's equity in what we're doing with our employees. It's one thing for us to approve this so that they can get the pay that they should be receiving, but then we want to make sure that we're aligning and that across the board everyone is receiving equitable pay.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
Yes, I would like to be added as a co-sponsor as well, and I would like to thank Councilmember Johnson for bringing this good piece of legislation up. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby, is your hand raised?
It is, yes,
Yes, Councilmember
Council
Darby.
President. If you could add me as a co-sponsor.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna repeat myself, but I'm on board with the whole equity piece, that Councilmember Cabrera and Councilmember, Bracy are talking about.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
I didn't ask to be a co-sponsor, but I might as well jump on that bandwagon as well.
All right, thank you. And seeing no other hands raised, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver, Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declared adopted.
And, Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for third and final reading.
Ordinance 23031, Agenda 0341, an ordinance to amend Chapter 40 of the City Code regarding bereavement leave.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea/nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea/nay vote on the question.
This is an ordinance, again, adding to, again, investment in our workers and our best resource. This is a amendment to the bereavement leave policy. This has been looked at by HR recently. It was brought to my attention that, the state had made some changes and, we're moving forward to make some changes. It simply is adding a little bit more flexible terms, so, it has to be, it's granting more days, but also it does not have to be immediately after death. And also in this, the death of the unborn child is added, which you would think that would have been added before, but it was not. So, again, we're just covering our bases, becoming a more worker-friendly workplace, and we're doing what we can. So I appreciate everyone's support for this. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no hands raised from council members, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman White,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver, Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declared adopted.
And Mr. President, may I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Councilman.
Council President,
Yes,
may
Councilman.
I be excused? May I be excused?
I don't think that we want to have a forum. We have 60. How many people do we have online? So we're fine. Yeah, she may be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 23032, Agenda 0342, an ordinance to amend Chapter 34 of the City Code to mandate lead paint inspections of residential dwellings and child care facilities.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 34 of the City Code to mandate lead paint inspections of residential dwellings and child care facilities.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 23033, Agenda 0343, an ordinance to amend Chapter 35 of the City Code to ensure employees in retail, hospitality, and food service establishments are provided advance notice of their work schedules, compensation for late changes to their work schedules, right to rest between work shifts, and first right of refusal for additional work shifts.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 35 of the City Code to ensure employees in retail, hospitality, and food services establishments are provided advance notice of their work schedules, compensation for late changes to their work schedules, right to rest between work schedule shifts, and first right of refusal for additional work shifts.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 23-034, Agenda 0344, an ordinance to amend Chapter 45 to exempt elderly and disabled residents and residences with children under the age of 5 from water service disconnection for non-payment of utility charges.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 45 to exempt elderly and disabled residents and residences with children under the age of 5 from water service disconnection for non-payment of utility charges.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee. At this time, we will move to petitions and communication. Councilmember Darby.
Yes, I don't have anything for tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver. Councilmember Fields. Councilmember Brigida Fields. Councilmember McCoy.
Oh, I'm not prepared. I just wanted to state that it is September and it is actually time to start having the civic association meetings. Excuse me. We will be having a meeting for the Browntown Civic Association on September 13th. Wednesday is going to be located at 804 Maryland Avenue at the Firefighters Union Hall, and it will be at 6 p.m. Also, on September 19th, we'll be having the Hedgeville Civic Association meeting. That will be at the MSK Community Center. That starts at 6:30, I believe, and the address is 1009 Sycamore Street. So I look forward to having those meetings started back up again this fall.
Thank you. Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mr. President. My only comment is that when council members suggest that there should be no votes, I think they should temper that enthusiasm. I don't think anybody should assume that we're a collective no matter what the subject matter is. And to say, I understand that there's a free will involved, but it can get problematic when people are trying to assume how we should vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Agreed. Councilmember Brigida Fields. Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes, Mr. President.
Sorry about that, Nathan. Councilmember Nathan Field.
Yes. I just want to mention a couple things coming up this weekend. The Brandywine Festival of the Arts in Brandywine Park is this Saturday and Sunday. And also Art Loop returns, and there's a lot of great events going on around the city, but I wanted to mention two in the 8th District. One is the Howard Pyle Studio, Friday night, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Historic building, a lot of interesting architecture. Was the studio of a famous artist, and that is open up and that from 5 to 7, and then the Blue Street Gallery is having an event 5 to 7 also on Friday night.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera.
It's that time of the year, Mr. President, where we get to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So tomorrow is the official kickoff at the Fiesta Latina at the LACC. I hope my council members will be there to join us with this dedication. The official dates are September 15th through October 15th. The Hispanic Festival kicks off on Sunday, 12 to 4 p.m. It's going to take place between like Franklin and Jackson Streets, but the parade, which you do not want to miss, starts at 1 p.m. and it starts on Union, 4th and Union, and it goes down and ends up right there by St. Paul School where the stage will be there. There'll be food, entertainment. We have headliners coming from the region. Edgar Joed is going to be there, one of my personal favorites. So I encourage everyone to come out and celebrate, little dancing, little food. It's a great time to really fellowship with your fellow neighbors. Also want to remind folks that we still have the old Brandywine Village concerts are happening on Tuesdays from 5 to 7:30 in Old Brandywine Village. And on Wednesday, the Urban Artists Exchange are still doing the evening concerts. They should run through the middle of October, and they're starting at 6:30 and ending. No, they're starting at 6, half an hour earlier to make up for the fact that it's getting darker earlier, and they end at 7:30. And that's it. Así que todos están bienvenidos a participar en las actividades del mes hispano. All are
Está bien.
invited to
Está
participate.
bien.
Thank you.
Councilmember Mills.
Yes, Mr. President. I just wanted to say to the city residents that now that school is back in, we've heard a few members tonight at the public comment speak about the speeding cars. So if we could definitely take it easy, slow it down for the children, and definitely respect the stop buses. And just take it easy, definitely between those hours in the morning and in the afternoon when the kids are getting out of school. Just play it safe so we don't have any children hit during those times. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of things. Tomorrow, September 8th, there will be another free block party, City Sounds Downtown Block Party Series at the 200 block of West 9th Street downtown, which is by Fair and the Market Gallery. They will have live music. Usually there's food or food trucks out there. So it's a nice opportunity to get out downtown and enjoy some live music. There's also an expungement and job expo at William Hicks Anderson Community Center, 501 West Madison Street, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, September 15th. There will be free food, giveaways, employer and community resources, as well as the expungement fair. So anyone that is interested in more information can go to wilmingtonalliance.org, to their Wilmington Alliance website, and there's information on how to register for that event. Lastly, on the 16th of September, there's the Soul of the City Festival sponsored by the Grand Opera House and Christina Cultural Arts Center. And they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. There will be performances by Richard Raw and some other great artists, and that's from 12 to 4 between 7th and 9th Street on Market. They're going to block it off. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'd just like to just to remind council members to just ask for a temporary, just to temporarily be excused if you have to use the restroom, or just have to if you have to leave council floor, no problem. And also virtual members also, because we just want to make sure that we are staying in quorum. And some council members being virtual, some being in council chambers, want to make sure that we always have 7 so that we're not in violation at any time during our meeting.
Mr. President?
I should have known. Yes, Councilmember Fields. I tried.
Thank you
I know
for
I shouldn't have said
acknowledging
anything.
me, Council President. My quote for today is, no, first of all, I like to say, I really would like to give a appreciation to my at-large council members for picking up where some of us as council members don't have the information. Well, I had the information, but I couldn't get it out on my time. So I would like to thank council member at large Bracy and council member at large Cabrera for bringing up the Hispanic parade and the expungement clinic. So if it's not for one, it's for all. So I just like to thank those individuals for doing that. And my quote for today is, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." William Shakespeare. I just like to say have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome, Councilmember Fields. Also, just want to thank everyone who joined us in council chambers and everyone who joined us virtually. Please continue to engage with us on council meetings if you ever have any questions, any concerns, if we can be of any assistance. Just give us a call at our office at 302-576-2140. And if our staff can't help you immediately, they will definitely point you in the right direction, or they can connect you to your local council member. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been probably moved and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nay.
Any opposed besides Councilmember Bracy?
Yeah, she can stay.
She can stay?
She
All
can
right.
stay all day if she wants.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.